Engines full power. And liftoff of Viasat 3. Go Viasat, go Falcon Heavy.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
We are 30 seconds into flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust. Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now we are throttling down our engines on those side boosters, and that's in preparation for Max Q.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Max Q is the moment of peak mechanical stress.
Falcon Heavy is supersonic.
Peak mechanical stress on the vehicle, so we do slow down the vehicle to get through this period of high stress. And once we pass through Max Q, we will throttle those engines back up on those side boosters.
Max Q.
And great call out, we have passed through Max Q. So we're going to throttle up those engines.
Falcon Heavy is in startup.
There we go. Falcon Heavy has just entered the startup phase.
Go for launch.
And with confirmation of go for launch from our launch director, Falcon Heavy is ready to go to space at T-minus 37 seconds with the Viasat 3 mission.
Seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Viasat 3. Go Viasat, go Falcon Heavy.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
We are 30 seconds into flight under the power of 5 million pounds of thrust. Falcon Heavy is headed to space. Now we are throttling down our engines on those side boosters, and that's in preparation for Max Q.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Max Q is the moment of peak mechanical stress.
Falcon Heavy is supersonic.
Peak mechanical stress and some incredible views of Falcon Heavy in flight. Now 2 minutes into flight, we will reduce the thrust on the two side boosters again, and that will be to decrease the forces on the vehicle structure. And that's because the vehicle is now lighter as we're burning through the fuel on the vehicle, but the thrust will remain constant. And wow, that looks amazing on the screen. All three boosters burning bright there.
Falcon Heavy is following a nominal trajectory.
And then the next event coming up in about a minute or just under a minute will be BECO. That's booster engine cutoff. That's where we will shut down the engines on the side boosters, and then we will separate the side boosters from the center core. And as a reminder, we are not landing our side boosters or center core today due to performance needed on today's mission. And you can see on your right-hand screen, we do have a view of the separation mechanisms from the center core to the side boosters. And BECO, or booster engine cutoff, is coming up here in a few seconds.
MVAC engine chill has started. Booster engine cutoff.
Side booster separation confirmed. Both side boosters, FTS has safed.
Great views there. We had BECO, booster engine cutoff, and we watched as those side boosters, and you could see them there on your screen, those side boosters falling
Vehicle
away.
is following a nominal trajectory.
Falling away from Falcon Heavy's center core. Awesome views. That's going to wrap it up for the side boosters today. The next event coming up here in about 30 seconds or so is main engine cutoff. That is also called MECO, and that will be on the center core, followed by stage separation and then the startup of our second stage engine.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. Stage 1 FTS has safed. MVAC ignition. Acquisition signal Bermuda.
And we got some great views. We watched MECO as the engines on the center core shut down, stage separation, and now you can see on your screen that the MVAC engine has ignited. Now we are coming up on fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And also we're able to see and hear the call out that,
Stage 2 is following a nominal trajectory.
that the fairing halves have separated. They are now falling back down to Earth, and we will attempt to recover them using our recovery vessel, Doug. On your screen, we have ignition of our MVAC engine. That is called SES-3, or second stage engine start 3. This burn will last just about a minute long.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And then we can begin our deployments of our payloads. Great call outs. We did get confirmation of SECO 3, that's second stage engine cutoff 3, as well as a confirmation of good orbit. So in a few minutes, we have the first of 3 payload deployments scheduled at the T+4 hour and 32 minute mark. So we'll see you back here in about 9 minutes for the deployment of the Viasat 3 mission.
Welcome back to the webcast for the Viasat 3 America's mission. So far in the mission, we had an on-time liftoff. We've had 3 successful burns of our second stage, and we're coming up on the deployment of the Viasat 3 spacecraft. The Viasat payload deploying shortly is now the largest all-electric satellite ever to be launched. And deployment is coming up in just around 40 seconds or so.
Viasat.
Hello again. If you're just joining us, we had an on-time liftoff at 8:26 p.m. Eastern Time from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A. We've had 3 successful burns of our second stage and successful deployment of the Viasat 3 payload, and we're now coming up on the deployment of the Gravity Space 1 payload. Gravity Space 1 is a 16U CubeSat and the first commercial CubeSat in geosynchronous orbit. It will be used for Internet of Things, a rendezvous and docking experiment, and orbital slot reservations. And that deployment is coming up here in just about 15 seconds or so.
Pew, pew. Let's go. Pew.
What you're seeing on your screen is a view from the second stage looking forward. So we should be able to see the payload deploy here shortly.
Gravity space separation confirmed.
One. Where? There it goes.
Astronus separation confirmed.
Cool.
And there you saw and heard confirmation of successful deployment of the micro geo payload from our second stage. With confirmation of successful deployment of our last payload on board the second stage, that will wrap up our coverage for the Viasat-3 America's mission. We'd like to thank Viasat for entrusting us with today's mission. We'd also like to thank the range and the FAA for licensing today's launch. And of course, we'd like to thank all of our viewers for tuning in. If you're interested in more launch content, head over to our website and social media platforms for updates on our next missions and milestones. Hope you all enjoy the week, and we will see you soon.